Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther Variety.
Hey there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and sorry for the delay. Time zone kind of screw up. But we're here. We're live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Hey guys, my name is Jess E. James. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. I'm a pro wrestler at the Hybrid School of Wrestling in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm excited to be here with you guys at the Dudes at Ringside podcast. What's up?
Awesome, man. So when did you know that professional wrestling was the thing? Because I know you have the training in the Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu and all the fun stuff like that. But like, where did it all start for you? Like, where did that? We know how like there's a bar, like you always see like the timeline bar. Like, where did it start for you?
Well, it all started for me in high school. I was bullied in high school, so I wanted to take martial arts. My senior year, actually, I was beat up by a local gang. They were like Heritage Bloods or whatever. So they beat up me and my friends. They broke our skateboards. So I took Muay Thai classes. I got pretty good in Muay Thai. I had some amateur fights in Muay Thai, and I wanted to do MMA. I had amateur fights in boxing too. Once I got into MMA, I started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because you got to learn how to grapple and wrestle. I trained at Brazilian Top Team for the past 12 years, but I dabbled in amateur MMA as well. 2 fights under my belt. One was in Las Vegas, and I tore my bicep leading up to my 3rd fight. I'll show you. So this is the normal bicep. This is my torn bicep.
Oh no!
Like kind of like splits in there, like right in here. It splits. So yeah, when that happened, I was like, I can use my skills for professional wrestling. So I always had a love for professional wrestling. And so I started looking up the Hybrid School of Wrestling in San Antonio, Texas. The head trainer was Chris Marvel. The co-trainer was Sho Funaki. Sho Funaki had a run in WWF, WWE. It's called WWF at the time with Kai and Tai and the #1 announcer, Kung Funaki. So yeah, I was definitely intrigued to learn from Funaki, especially because he had a martial arts background too in karate and judo. So me and him got along really well.
That's awesome. So was it because I like the karate training is a little tougher than professional wrestling training? When you first walked through the doors and you started listening to stuff that like Funaki said, did it like click for you, or did it take a few days to get used to the different type of now being in a ring and training?
Yeah. Okay. So I was definitely used to a lot of the roles and stuff from my wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background, the break falls and the bumps and all that. But definitely, I'm going to break kayfabe here, but definitely learning how to strike without actually, killing somebody in the ring, not putting all of your energy through, I guess doing the art of wrestling, the strike without hurting your opponent. That was definitely something I had to overcome. It took me a couple of years to learn that. I have definitely built up a reputation of being somewhat of a shooter or a stiff worker, but I'm getting better than that. I'm getting better with time.
So is there any other place in the world or within the country that you would like to travel to perform that you haven't been to yet?
Oh, definitely. #1 is Japan. #2 is UK. Those are really big wrestling countries, and that's a bucket list for me.
Awesome. Before we were live, you were mentioning the stuff about Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan, huge Brandon Lee fan. If you had to do a top 5 of your favorite either Bruce Lee movies or Bruce Lee phrases, what would you say would be your all-time favorite?
My top 5: Enter the Dragon's #1. Return of the Dragon, the one where he fought Chuck Norris. I believe it's called Return of the Dragon. Fist of Fury, that one's really good as well. That would be #3. Chinese Connections 4, Game of Death is 5. Game of Death would be higher, but the fact that Bruce Lee died in the middle of shooting, so a lot of his stunt work wasn't really him. But I did enjoy the fight at the end with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is really iconic. So yeah, Game of Death has got to be number 5. But if it was finished with Bruce Lee, that would definitely be number 1 or 2.
Awesome. Is there any, like, when you do your matches, is there any Bruce Lee influence that it's in your character and stuff like that?
Oh yeah. As you seen the picture, I'm wearing the Bruce Lee orange shades, the Chinese get up. One of my moves I like to do is the flying dragon kick in the corner. I'll throw him the turnbuckle and I'll come up with the one-legged kick, like coming across like Liu Kang. I hit that and then I'll front roll out and I'll come back with the CM Punk step up knee. So definitely a lot of Bruce Lee influence in my work. A lot of my promos, I'll do that little nose flick like Bruce Lee, like that. So, yeah.
Do you ever do this during the match when they give you it makes your lip bleed, go like this?
Oh yeah, you already know it's coming. Especially, I like to sell like that.
Awesome. So I noticed when you wear your gis, because you did a promo with a gi on, is that another like Bruce Lee hint, like a tribute to him also?
Definitely. Bruce Lee didn't really wear gis because he wasn't a martial artist and went up through the ranks of the belt system. But I wear the gis just to show respect to my upbringing, the jiu-jitsu, foundation. Because Bruce Lee was a Chinese martial artist. They didn't do belts. That was more of a Japanese and a Brazilian thing. But I definitely will don the Chinese button-up shirt like Bruce Lee, like I'm wearing in the poster of this podcast for sure.
Awesome. So
one more thing. Sorry. And I also have the yellow tights, the one he wore in Game of Death, the yellow jumpsuit. So I have that in like wrestling tights version. I have the yellow knee pads, the yellow tights, the black stripe coming down. So that's definitely one of my nods to Bruce Lee as well.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Do you have any, because I know everybody has the pop collection. Do you have any Bruce Lee pops?
Oh man, I didn't really get into collecting pops, honestly, but I do have Bruce Lee statues and toys and a bunch of stuff. I have the Bruce Lee shoes, the yellow Game of Death shoes that he wore in the actual movie, and I have his nunchucks and stuff like that.
Wait, but the actual shoes?
Not his actual shoes.
I was about to say, that's hot,
replica.
I would love that. Oh my god.
No. I have the replicas.
But to say, who do you know? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I must talk to his daughters or his son or daughter or something, or like daughter or like niece or something.
Jeez, I wish.
I'm like, you better you gotta grab the case and show it on camera. That's amazing. That's history right there. And like, I'd be like, oh, got me starstruck and all. Woo! Get me all. I'm like, show that on camera. That's amazing. I show pops that people have made for me of myself. That's history right there. Bruce Lee, that's the man. Like, when it comes to like your wrestling shows and like your training, do you have a separate schedule for like both, or is it both like pretty much almost in line when it comes to a show?
Okay, well, yeah, definitely. I'll break down my training routine. So I work a 9 to 5 like everyone else, but I'm also a Muay Thai instructor and a Jiu-Jitsu instructor for Brazilian Top Team, my martial arts school. So I'll teach there from 6 to 8:30. 6 to 7 is Muay Thai, and then from 7 to 8:30 is Jiu-Jitsu. So you got striking and grappling. And then I head over to the hybrid school of wrestling from 8:30 to 10 and finish off my pro wrestling training. So I'm training from 6 to 10 Monday through Thursday. And then the shows for pro wrestling happens on the weekends, usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So my training is Monday through Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday is showtime.
Awesome.
Always busy.
Oh yeah. You guys, you wrestlers, I always like give them all my praise and all my luck to you guys, because you guys are doing your dreams, like like being a professional wrestler and stuff like that. So when it comes to day of a show, do you have an idea what gear you're gonna wear that day, or is it like something you planned out like a week in advance?
It really depends. A lot of times I'll plan it a week in advance if it's a specialty show, like if it's I don't know, say when Akira Toriyama died, the creator of Dragon Ball, my next show I wore, all orange like Goku, to give a nod to Goku and Akira Toriyama. So it really depends, and also depends on if the show's outdoors. If it's outdoors, I'll wear like short trunks, something a little bit more that could breathe well. If it's indoors with a lot of AC, then I'll wear the long tights, something that'll keep me more insulated. So it really depends.
Yeah, that's like crazy about like being indoor outdoor, because I'm from the East Coast and we've had some 70-degree days. Like, do you prefer the outdoor shows or do you prefer the indoor shows?
Oh, brother, indoor shows. San Antonio, Texas, South Texas, it gets up to 100 degrees. Even in October, it's got to. I think the high in October was like 90. So it's very hot in Texas.
I do another nerd. I do an opposite podcast with two females, and it's like a nerd culture show, and the one girl's from Houston, and she tells me, "Oh my God, Joe, you have no idea what we go through here in Texas, like in Houston."
Yeah, I saw you had Mia Friday on the intro, and she's from Texas, I believe.
Yeah. She's good people. Yeah. That's another good person. See, another good Texas person. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So is there like any other promotions within the Texas area that you have not been to yet?
That I have not been to?
Yes.
I've worked almost every show in San Antonio, most of them in Austin. I haven't really worked the ones in Dallas, of North Texas, or Houston, really. Like, I haven't worked New Texas Pro Wrestling or the DFW area. So I would like to go up to North Texas and work with them, or a lot of the Houston people as well. Definitely ROW, Reality of Wrestling. That's like a big staple in Texas that most people strive to get, just to get looked at by Booker T. So that's definitely at the top of the list.
Definitely. Definitely got to get the big man, but Mr. Booker T on eyes on you, because you're an important part of the wrestling world. Hashtag support independent wrestling. Support everybody you can. So is there any wrestlers from the Texas area that you have not worked with you that you've been dying to get with, and you haven't had a chance to like connect with them yet?
Definitely a lot of the guys from, like I said, ROW and Houston and Dallas I have not worked with, but I would like to work with. A lot of the guys in South Texas, I believe I've worked with, most of them, for sure. As far as names, oh man.
I know Tamaku. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I haven't worked Tomiko. I would like to work that guy.
That'd be oh my God, you got to make that like a Bruce Lee movie. He's a giant monster, and you're like the Bruce Lee character. So it has to be like one of these like spinning arm hand thing.
Definitely.
You kick him, he just boom, and then he's like,
my agility. Yeah.
Bruce Lee, I make you bleed your own blood, and then he hits you, and then you go up.
For sure.
You have to kick him, knock down the monster. So, since I'm like a local podcast from the tri-state area and small town, support your local business, as I say all the time. Also, where would you say your local place you go to after a show?
My local place?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
If there isn't, I understand.
I mean, Whataburger is the go-to for almost every Texan out there, especially if you're traveling. You're going to see a Whataburger and be like, let's go to Whataburger. It's definitely better than going to McDonald's or anywhere else.
I've been dying to go to Whataburger. I've heard so many good things about Whataburger. Val, at the Nerd Culture Show, she says, Joe, if you ever come to Texas, you need to go to a Whataburger.
Yeah. And most wrestlers, when they travel to Texas, they immediately go to Whataburger. You even see WWE stars that go to Whataburger.
So you have some upcoming shows that let's start dropping the posters for.
All right, let's go.
Yes. So we have one. I'm trying to figure which is which. That's the 15th. Let me go in order because I hate being out of order. ADD. We have one on the 9th.
That's tomorrow.
Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. So actually, before we got on this podcast, sorry about the mix-up on the time zone, but I was actually setting up the ring for this show. Is at Traders Village. Traders Village is like a local flea market in Texas. It's So yeah, it's a flea market show. It's an outdoor show, which is great because the weather is nice right now in Texas. We're like in the 80-degree weather. We just finished up the ring, setting it all up, and yeah, show starts at 1 o'clock. It's a noon show. So bring your family type show. It's gonna be fun. That's gonna be
It's so funny.
Sunday.
It's right in the middle.
I'm
It's right in
sorry.
the middle. Like you have to like move yourself in. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
even. Here you go.
It's gonna be a Saturday and Sunday, so 2 days.
Oh
You can
wow,
catch
double
me.
day. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you on both sides of the card?
Yes, sir. I'm on Saturday and Sunday.
Like, how do
Two
you prepare
paydays.
yourself for that? Do you have to like think differently in your head? Like, okay, I can't get beat up this show. The next show I'm in, I could take more of the bumps and stuff.
Honestly, yeah, that's a very smart thing to do. So Saturday I can't go too hard because I need to save the energy for Sunday, and then Sunday I could go hard.
Okay, next poster. I think this is the next one.
Okay, that's United 2-0 Made in America. That's going to be on a Friday night. And what's special about United 2-0? That's literally in someone's backyard on the south side.
Really?
Yeah. So the guy in the top left, Stud Stash, the big dude with the mustache. So it's in his house. It's in his backyard. He has a giant backyard in the south side of San Antonio. The south side is more of the ghetto side of San Antonio near the train tracks. But it's all love, man. Like the whole community comes out, the whole neighborhood comes out. It's always a packed house, and they always get really rowdy. So it's
oh my god,
yeah, it's like a backyard venue. But it's better than backyard wrestling because we're all trained professionals. We're not just a bunch of kids doing stuff.
Yeah, you definitely have to. I want to definitely talk to Stash when you get to the show. Mention dudes at ringside. He a lot of these wrestlers on this poster I've never had on the podcast. So definitely spread the word because I'm trying to get some more interviews for 2025, and I'm already booking for 2025.
Oh hell yeah, Stash would be he'd be a great one to add to your show because then you could talk about the complexities of running your own show, running your own promotion in your backyard, no less. No one's doing that. That's crazy.
You said that to me, and immediately I was like, if that was here, when I grew up in Central Islip, Long Island. Immediately, I hear the cop siren. Woo woo!
Oh, it's crazy. Like the cops don't even come. Like I think he has some understanding with the cops. Like they know he's running a show there, and they don't break it up, or the neighborhood knows, and they don't call the cops because the whole neighborhood's there, man.
They're probably packing their chairs out, like moving everything out of the way.
And he has security there too. There's security, like hired security in the backyard, in the yard, and everything's great.
They probably have trucks around the block, like lined up, like food trucks and everything. And
he has food trucks lined up in the backyard. I'm telling you, his backyard's massive. It's like the size of 3 or 4 backyards because it's right next to train tracks. So people back then, they have a lot of field room. So he brings in food trucks. He brings in everything. It's awesome. It's like a big party.
Wow, that's cool. And we got one more poster. Sent it to me. Here's the other one. Sorry about that.
Okay, so this is the Hybrid School of Wrestling Thanks Beating. This is our school, where I'm from, the Hybrid School of Wrestling, and this is our house show. Once a month, we run the student showcase show, and it's all the students at Hybrid, just doing their thing. And these are my favorite shows because these are the ones you can really let loose because, I know all these people. I train with all these people. And it's the kind of show where we, bring in new ideas and, run with our own storylines where we have real creative control.
Wow. I like another school, definitely a bunch of wrestlers. And only one I think on this poster I've had on the podcast is you. I don't have any.
Oh, really?
I haven't had any of these wrestlers on the podcast at all.
You didn't have my teammates Jay Young and Eric Walker?
Maybe I did.
Yeah, I believe they told me they were on this show, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm wrong. Okay, I didn't have the female wrestlers on the top. I've never had any of either of them.
Yeah, you should get Key Vibes on the show. She's really sweet.
Definitely, as I said, I always tell wrestlers to try to help because sometimes I'll DM these wrestlers and I know they probably get blown up by everybody, every rapidly wrestling fan that says, "I got a podcast, I want to have you on," and then one podcast says this, and they go on the podcast and make them feel like super nervous or super uncomfortable, and then all of us other podcasters look bad because one person pooped in the pool. The other people have to struggle because they're like, trying to scoop it out, and we're all like, I didn't do that. That was him. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't want any wrestlers to feel uncomfortable. That's why I don't always go live with Dudes at Ringside. Sometimes we pre-record this stuff. You know what I mean? I want all you wrestlers to feel comfortable. If you're watching this podcast, because my buddy over here, Jesse, sent you to watch because you can catch it live because I'm on the East Coast and he's in the Central Time. This is me talking to the camera. Hi, I'm Joe Panther III. I've been doing this podcast for 3 years. My grandfather was a wrestler under Vince McMahon's dad. My grandfather's name was Jose Quinones the Panther. And I've never met my grandfather, but I know that he would have been so proud and honored to know his grandson is talking to professional wrestlers. And I love supporting you all any way I can, having you on the podcast. Go into a show, buy a t-shirt, buy a sticker, buy a poster. Go to the shows, and I even like posting the posters on my social medias. It's not me trying to take the posters from the promotions. I ask the wrestlers. They always say, we could do that. I'll go to a show. I'll promote the posters. If you guys want to send a t-shirt, I wear them. Wear a sticker. I'll put the sticker back here in my background in my sticker Hall of Fame, which I have right here. I do this for the love of professional wrestling. I don't get paid a dime to do the podcast. And people have come to my podcast, tell me time and date, and they've no-showed me. And that makes me sad and make me want to walk away from this thing. And I've been doing this 3 years, and I love this business. I would never walk away. And if I had to, I'd have to have a reason. And helping wrestlers like Jesse here makes me happy that independent wrestling is back from after COVID. It disappeared and was turned into the quiet rooms. And that's why I love independent wrestling so much. I like helping promote wrestlers from different countries, different states that I may never see live because I'm in the East Coast, in the tri-state area. But I know when you leave this podcast, you can go home and tell your friends, hey, I was on Dudes at Ringside. That podcast is mad chill.
I will.
I didn't mean to go on that long rant, but I like to tell your friends that are watching this, the Dudes at Ringside is a safe place for independent wrestlers. It's not a scary, nervous place. It's a happy place. Yes, because we're all fans here. We're all in the club. We all fam. In the club, in the ringside area, we all fam.
I got you.
Yeah. I had to add that stupid. In the club, we all fam. Are you racist? But yeah. Is there if there was if anybody wants to pick up any of your merch, is there anywhere they could find it?
Oh yeah, definitely. On my pro wrestling tees, just put my name Jess space E space James. E is my middle name, stands for excellence. But yeah, pro wrestling tees, Jess E James, and you'll find my merch on there for sure.
Awesome. Do you have any stickers that the wrestlers can buy at the shows if they're coming to the show tomorrow?
Yeah, I definitely have stickers on hand at the shows, and if you send me your Cash App or something, I'll mail them to you. I do usually a pack of 5 or 6 stickers for $5 each.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Do you put them in a little bag so when the rest? Because I know there's some wrestlers that just have them sprawled out on the table, and it's just oh, you want that one? That's 3 for $5. So you have to and I always hate doing that. 3 for $5, and the stickers look freaking hot fire.
Oh no, I got them in a bag. They're already pre.
Okay, I always hate that. I'm
yeah.
Shit. That one looks cool. That one looks like X-Men. I don't want that one. That one. Don't get the same one, Joe. Don't get the same one. Get the one with the leg up, then get that one with the karate style. I'm that guy going 2 hours later. Joe, I got to do my match. You better pick your stickers. Sorry, man. Oh, awesome. Do you know where the fans could buy a ticket if they're able to come to the show tomorrow?
The Trader Village show. That's going to be a show where you show up in person and you could get entry because it's at a outdoor flea market type venue. You can buy a ticket at the United show and at the Hybrid Thanksgiving show on an Eventbrite link I could send to anyone that wants to message me and go for sure.
Okay. Before we go, Jesse, if there's any fans that would like to get into the business like you did, like you
Mm-hmm.
are, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Oh man, okay. The number one advice is if it's something you really want to do, like deep down, and you're gonna have to go through a lot of crap, and just don't give up, man. Keep your eye on the prize. Take it one day at a time. It's gonna be grueling, very grueling. There's gonna be times where you doubt yourself. There's gonna be times where you're not gonna be able to make family obligations or weddings or whatever, or just because you got to be on the road traveling, or you got to set up this ring or whatever. Do what's best for your wrestling career. At first you won't make a lot of money, so you got to be content with being broke but happy, um, and you got to be disciplined. You got to work out, and you got to diet. You got to look good. You got to look the part. So this is really something you want to do. You got to take a good look, hard in the mirror, hard look in the mirror, have an honest conversation with yourself, and just stick to it. Nose on the grind, man, and don't give up. And most wrestling schools, you'll go a month without even actually seeing the ring. They want to test your resilience. They want to see how much cardio you have, how strong you are, your physical endurance. They want to test your heart and your mentality. So they'll work you out, man, 3 hours a day, 4 days a week for a month without you even seeing a ring, just to test, see how bad you want it. So just don't give up.
Awesome, Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It really means a lot to have an awesome person. I want to wish you nothing but the best of luck on your wrestling journey, and good luck in your show tomorrow. Bring down the house, brother. I'm Joe Panther III.
And I'm Black Belt Jesse James. Os.
And we will catch you in the next one.